Hey everyone, I'm Towers, and this is going to be my first real shot at creating some content for YouTube. I'm really excited to get right into it. In this video, we'll be actually looking at a quick road to killing Eikthyr. Alright guys, so I think this first Forsaken boss, Eikthyr, is a huge stepping stone in the game, and really opens up the world for what you can achieve, and we'll explain a little bit more of that later on. So to start off, we're going to be punching trees for a few minutes, collecting some wood, and trying to find stones and food along the way. This is super important in the early stages of the game because it's how you're going to make your first weapons and also an axe, which will help cut down some larger trees, giving you a much greater supply of wood. The food provides you with extra stamina and hit points, and early in the game I suggest boar and berries. Boars are a great source of meat and also provide you with leather scraps which you'll need to create a bow. I also think it's super important to find a water source early on, preferably near the ocean, as this is a great place to start what I like to call your first home base. And also next spawn near water sources, which are a great source of food. Alright, so we've gathered enough lumber to start building. We'll have to start with a workbench, which will allow us to create structures. A workbench will need to have a covering, so this is the perfect opportunity to start building yourself a little shelter. Once we've created a roof above the workbench, we'll be able to make a hoe, which will allow us to level the ground, making it much easier to build our first shelter. After the shelter is made, the first thing you're going to want to do is start hunting. At this point, if you haven't killed enough boar for the leather scraps needed to craft your bow, that'll be the first thing you want to do. The bow makes it much easier to hunt deer, and it's a great weapon for taking on Eikthyr. At this point, since we're by the water, we should also be able to find a lot of flint and create a stronger arrow for when we are fighting Eikthyr. Just a note that in order to create these, you'll also need feathers, so shoot birds along the way to speed up this process. Now that we have our bow, this is a great time to start heading toward Eikthyr. While killing as many deer along the way as possible, we'll need 2 trophies to summon him. You may have noticed I didn't really bother making any of the leather armor or flint weapons other than the arrows. In my opinion, these second level items are unnecessary for killing Eikthyr, and we will progress a little faster by skipping them. And I'm just going to take a minute here guys to say if you're liking the video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more content here. I'm currently playing on a server with my old man and we've started to see some really cool content, and I'll be sharing that here in another series. I also stream on Trovo Live, so if you want to hang out, join a server, or just join us in our adventures, or put a face to the name, come check me out there, and my link will be in the description below. And without further ado, it's time. Now we are at Eikthyr, and ready to take on the Great Buck in our first true test on the road to Odin and Valhalla. Before we summon him, be sure to eat, preferably some cooked meat and a necktail, mixed with a berry, as we can eat up to 3 different things. To summon him, simply put your deer trophies in one of your hotkeyed slots numbered 1 to 8 and use them on the altar. Once you've done that, you'll see Eikthyr being summoned, and we will be taking his head. For this fight, I think keeping a distance and using summoning stones to keep him at bay is the best and easiest way to fight him. As you can see, he has a few different attacks. There's one where he'll go up on his hind legs and slam the ground, creating an electric burst around him. He'll also shoot lightning-like charge from his antlers, and finally, if you're too close, he'll actually try to ram you with his giant horns. Finally, we took Eikthyr's head. Now that we've slain him, we will take his head to the beginning altar and place it on the matching trophy stone. By doing this, we'll be granted the ability of the Forsaken. When we use the power of Eikthyr, we'll be granted a bonus ability. When we are running and jumping, we will actually use 60% less stamina. Now it's time to pop this and head home to our workbench. Alright, now that we're back at our workbench, as you can see, we can now create a pickaxe. This is a huge stepping stone. This allows us to find raw materials, which can be found in the next region, the Black Forest, and potentially make some really cool stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this very first video I've made on Valheim, and I hope to see you in the next one soon. Keep on grinding on the road to Valhalla.